The Frighteners is a 1996 comedy fantasy horror film directed by the one and only Peter Jackson. It stars Michael J. Fox, who plays Frank Bannister, a psychic investigator / con artist who tricks people into thinking they're seeing something otherworldly when really he's just controlling spirits to make money. They are seeing something otherworldly, but he's a complete con. He can see spirits because he was involved in a terrible accident where he saw death in really traumatic circumstances. Today I don't want to talk about key plot points of this film or give away spoilers. I just want to talk about why it's such a classic film and I've enjoyed it so much the last 2 times I've seen it. The Frighteners mixes comedy and horror so perfectly, and it has so many genuinely scary moments, especially towards the end of the film. It's not for people who are obsessed with horror, and it's probably not for people who have seen the scariest horror movies, as they would watch this and think, oh, the comedy just ruins it, it's no good. But if you're someone who loves comedy horror and you don't think of horror movies that have comedy incorporated like that, and you can still get scared by them, then this is definitely the movie for you. The film was shot in picturesque New Zealand, and you can really tell that it's not an American town, even though everyone in the town speaks in an American accent. It's pretty funny how it works like that. Michael J. Fox lived in New Zealand for 6 months filming this movie, and you can imagine that wasn't easy as he had already been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and it was a lot of work apparently to film this movie. The film also stars Jake Busey, who plays the horribly evil Johnny Bartlett, a mass murderer who at a hospital as an employee killed 12 people back in the 50s. He was given the electric chair, but in the afterlife he became the Grim Reaper, an evil spirit that kills people by ripping their hearts out of their chest and destroying them with his hand. Sorry for the graphic sort of interpretation I did just then. The town's police investigators are so confused as to why so many people have died of the same type of heart attack. And naturally, Michael J. Fox's character Bannister is prime suspect number 1, as he's been at the scene of a lot of these people's deaths. The pacing of The Frighteners is really impressive. The screenplay is amazing too. It's just really grippy. The first 15 minutes, I will be honest, is really boring. If you haven't seen the movie before, you're going to struggle to get through the first 15 to 20 minutes of it because it takes a while to get going, but once it gets going, it is an amazing movie. The way it's directed is very impressive, and you can tell, even in 1996, if you saw this, that the director Peter Jackson was going to go on to much bigger things. The acting is pretty believable as well. Michael J. Fox in this is very impressive. His character is really entertaining, and all the supporting cast are really enjoyable as well. It's just a really fun popcorn flick for Halloween. Obviously, as the movie goes on, more and more people get killed in the same sort of way by this Grim Reaper character, and as you can imagine, the plot unravels and all sorts of hell breaks loose towards the end of the film. At the risk of giving away this movie, the best advice I can give to anyone watching this is don't get angry and don't get uneasy if you can't handle stressful endings where the baddie is just getting away with it, because this is definitely one of those movies where you have to be very patient and just try and enjoy the creativity of the movie rather than the main character being so unapologetically horrifically evil. Jake Busey does such a good job of playing such an unlikable and horrible villain. And for a comedy horror, you just don't expect that. You don't expect to really get invested in the villain and hate them that much. One of the key things I wanted to talk about with this movie, without talking about the actual movie itself, of course, because I want people who have never seen the movie to watch this video and then go watch it for themselves, is the unfortunate timing of this film's release. The Dunblane shooting happened in 1996, as did the Port Arthur massacre in Tasmania, Australia. And this movie was released in 1996, and its main focus is a mass murderer who goes on a killing spree shooting everyone. I wondered, why the heck is this film never on TV? Why have I never heard of it? It's got such a good IMDb rating, it's such an enjoyable movie, and then I realized that's why. The unfortunate selling point of Jackson's to make it a mass murderer who shoots up a hospital essentially is really sad, considering that the film hasn't had a lasting legacy with it being on streaming services or on television or anything. I'm almost sure this movie hasn't been promoted much since its release, which is really sad considering it's such a classic. Jackson made a mistake making it a mass murderer, but the film wasn't a mistake. It's an actual classic horror movie. It's really good at sucking you into the story and really getting you interested in the characters and what's going to happen to them, and also finding a solution with the main character trying to repair this horrible scenario.
I've seen him reach into people's chests and squeeze their hearts. Who was it? Death.
I've said too much. You've got to watch The Frighteners and enjoy it for yourselves. It really is, guys, a classic film. I was first alerted to it when I found this television promo for the movie that I've shown on so many of my videos in the past because I just thought it was so well edited. And it did air on TV once in the year 2000.
Michael J. Fox sees Dead People in the network premiere The Frighteners, 8:30 Sunday on 10. Michael J. Fox sees Dead People.
I've seen him reach into people's chests and squeeze their hearts.
But can his sixth sense defeat the specter of evil?
Next.
For the first time, The Frighteners, 8:30 Sunday on 10.
That's all I have to say on The Frighteners. It's just a really enjoyable screw-around Halloween flick, and it's really well made. It's not going to be the scariest movie that you watch on Halloween, but it is going to be a really enjoyable watch and just a really well-made film. So enjoy The Frighteners. This has been Octoween 9, 8.5. This wasn't a proper Octoween. I just did this for fun. Thank you for watching, guys.
Beware, you're in for a scare.